What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone for a new show, a transfer show. It's been it's been actually a week before since we talked transfers, and I kind of skipped it by choice because I think there were more important things to talk about. Not better, because there were not good things to talk about. But we're gonna talk about some links again, some old links, some CHIESA update. I think a good CHIESA update potentially, and a lot of links about free agents and all those things because I think this summer team will also be free agents because we get back in Europe. We need a lot of players and you need some experience. So that's something we definitely need to keep an eye on and we need to capitalize on. Obviously, they need to be good free agents and they cannot be like bottom of the barrel, scraping the bottom basically, free agents. So that's what we're gonna talk about. Before we do that, like the video, hit the like button now because it does help the channel out massively. Subscribe to the channel. We're getting closer to 5K. Hit the bell notification and let's jump into the daily transfer update. Okay, so a new era. That's the title of the show, and it is a new era because a lot of things need to change. You know, financially, obviously, we know what the situation is, so that's why I said free agents, but also the idea of the club. You know, youngsters, non-youngsters, experienced, non-experienced, all those things. Now, Brescianini is a player we've been linked with all season long. A bit under the radar, but now it popped up again. This from Gazzetta dello Sport, excuse me. And they are saying that Juve maintains a keen interest in Marco Brescianini as they look ahead to the summer. Both Atalanta and Lazio are also closely monitoring his developments. Additionally, Milan holds a 50% stake in any potential future resale. Now, we've just seen him play. Or like I think a lot of people just see him play. He's a good player, you know. I think he's a very good player. Is he a player that's gonna up the quality in the midfield? I don't see that, if I'm being completely honest. And again, I know we need to build a squad because we play a lot of games, Europe and all those things. But we need to first off, we need to improve our starting 11. That should be the main focus heading into the summer. That starting 11 needs to be improved. No matter who the coach is, that starting 11 needs to improve. Certain players who are in the starting 11 now, some might say they're not good enough at all. Some might say, you know what, they can be good squad players. That you need to fix first. You know, look at, okay, these guys are very good squad players. These are very good starters. Let's fix the starting 11. That should be the main focus. Now, do I look at Brescianini and think he is going to walk into that team and improve us massively? Not really. You know, I don't want to disrespect him because I do like him. I think he's a good player. I think he did turn 24 just a month ago. So he's not old and all those things. And he's having a very, very good season. I'm not taking anything away from him. I think he has a contract until 27, if I remember correctly. Frosinone, good relationships. And maybe that's why the link is so easy to make. Or maybe that's really a player we are looking at because of that reason that, you know what, he is a Frosinone player. We have good links with Frosinone. Probably not going to cost you a lot of money. And we're looking for midfielders. But also keep in mind, Fagioli is back next season. We still don't know what's going to happen with Miretti. Alcaraz, what's going to happen with Alcaraz? Everybody thinks he's going to leave, most likely, because of the transfer fee we attach to it. Could be. But I think these are the names we should be keeping an eye on in terms of we should not dismiss them. However, I want attacking impulses in that midfield, and that's why I don't really am looking at Brescianini at this moment in time. But we should keep an eye on him. 100%. Now let's move on to first the backline, and then I will talk about another midfielder because this is from Mirko Di Natale. And that's what I said at the start of the video, and actually a couple of weeks ago, that free agents are going to be key, you know. And yes, Kroos was one of those agents linked, but just in general. And Mirko Di Natale is saying that Juve continues to monitor Lloyd Kelly from Bournemouth and Mario Hermoso from Atletico Madrid. Bournemouth is attempting to renew Kelly's contract, but negotiations are at a standstill. The chances of an extension with Atletico for Hermoso are very low. Now, on Hermoso, I wrote again, he's obviously, well, he mentioned it, the free agent status. Um, he will be 29 this season. I I've never been a fan of Hermoso, and that's just me. When I excuse me, when I watched him play, I've never been sold on Hermoso, and when I look at them back line, and obviously it depends on how we're gonna play, because if we move to a back four even, I think a lot of question marks will pop up with Bremer. Will a big offer come in for Bremer? Will the club entertain that offer? If it's crazy, they definitely will entertain that. But just in general, I think that midfield is lacking obviously quality, but also in possession, it lacks a lot of quality. Like we struggle in possession. We cannot play out from the back at all. It doesn't help that we don't have good wingers at time, or wing back play, or good thriving midfielders. It doesn't help as well. But on possession, excuse me, our backline stinks. Now defensively, it's also not good. Gatti is not really cutting it, and Danilo is also not one of my big favorites, if as people know. But I've never been sold on Hermoso. However, like I said at the beginning, he's a free agent, so the club will look at him. They will, And yes, we have Diallo, but we don't know how Diallo is coming back from that injury. We don't know what Huijsen is gonna do. Is he gonna demand to play? Excuse me. So many question mark on Lloyd Kelly. He will be 26 at the end of the year. Also, central midfielder, center back from Bournemouth, who can also play left back in a back four. However, I've not seen enough to say, oh, he's a good player. I don't, the only thing that makes sense is he's a free agent. That's the only thing that really makes sense in this story for me, because I've not watched Bournemouth. Like, I don't know enough to say, what, that Lloyd Kelly, that's a good thing. Now, on a free agent, who knows? But you got Diallo on a free agent. You have potentially Huijsen coming back. I think we need some more proven quality in that backline. We really do. Going into Europe, playing more games, we need some more proven quality. Who that name is, I don't know. You might say it's Hermoso, and I get that. That is proven, like, experience. I'm just not a big fan of Hermoso. So 2 different free agent links, but we will get links to those players. We will get linked to 8 free agents where you're like, really? Him? Felipe Anderson? I think a lot of people are like, really? Him? But that's going to happen this summer. We will get linked for free agents, and we will sign free agents. That's 100% going to happen. It just cannot be the case that you're signing them to crazy contract, long-term deals. That cannot be that unless it's real top quality, then obviously. But other than that, it's a big ask, and you need to be very careful in the summer. Now, let's move on to the next one, and that's... excuse me, I was looking for a contract. That's Ferguson from Bologna. Excuse me, I was looking at the contract. He just signed that new deal until 27, so that's that. Ferguson, attacking midfielder from Bologna. Gazzetta dello Sport is saying that Juve met with agents, basically, that work for Ferguson in Milano last week. A lot of teams are looking at him. When I watch Bologna, I'm not gonna lie, I look at Lucumi because he used to play here. I look at Zirkzee, I look at Calafiori, I look at Orsolini. I don't really focus on Ferguson. Now, he's having a good season. I get that. I think the price tag was around 20 million, so it's in our price range. He is an attacking midfielder. He could be, quote unquote, a cheaper option compared to Alcaraz because of the contract. Not really like for like. They're a bit different. However, the idea behind this is probably that. I think, like, we will get linked with a lot of players. But these are the players that make more sense for the club, transfer budget wise. That's just what it is, and that's what we need to accept. When the Colt Miners links are out there, you need to give up a lot to get Colt Miners. These links make more sense. Different players, whatever, but like price range and the idea behind them, or behind signing them, it makes more sense for the club. That's what I'm trying to say. Excuse me. So we just need to accept that, if you don't like Ferguson, and a lot of people do not like Ferguson, a lot of people do like Ferguson, we're not going to sign Pirlo on a free, or you're just going to sign Tevez on a free. Like, we're not going to do that this summer. We're not in that position as a club. Even if financially we're stable enough, you're not winning. So it's very difficult to convince certain players unless you're going to overpay for them. So Ferguson is one, and probably, I'm not going to lie, me myself should be looking more at Ferguson because I do believe he could be a real target. Nico Shira mentioned him months ago already, so we do need to keep an eye on him, and that's what I'm going to do. But that's a link that the club really likes, especially Giuntoli, so we need to keep an eye on it as well. And then before we get to the big Chiesa update, the Di Gregorio news is from Calciomercato saying that Perin could be part of a potential deal for Di Gregorio. Really quickly, you need to convince Perin to go to Monza. He will go to Monza if he just wants to play. But 2 years ago, we said, I played, but I was never winning stuff. So I'd rather play less and win stuff. Well, he's not winning stuff as well, and he's not playing. So maybe he's at the end of the season, I'm gone. Maybe he will say, it's done. I'm gone. On the flip side, we back in Europe. We play Coppa Italia again. That means Chesney will get more rest and he will get more time. But we need to keep an eye on that goalkeeping situation because it's weird, but I don't know. We just keep an eye on it. It shouldn't be the focus for now, in my opinion. But I think something will probably happen in the summer. If it's not this summer, something concrete about, deal agreed or something like that. Now the Chiesa update, and it's from Fabiana Della Valle from the Gazzetta dello Sport. I will read it out first because otherwise it makes no sense. So she's saying, Federico Chiesa has assured Juve that he will not depart without a proper arrangement. His current contract status doesn't seem to bother him, and if he decides not to renew, it's considered his deliberate choice. Juve expresses a sense of calmness regarding Chiesa's contract extension, saying that a pre-agreement with his agent as a contributing factor to their calmness. So, in a nutshell, he's not going to leave on a free agent. They have some sort of agreement with his agent, and that cannot happen. They also have a certain agreement with his agent on the basis of a contract. However, the big takeaway is Chiesa is holding this up. If you don't want to believe the news story or you don't like Fabiana Del Valle, fine. I'm not the biggest fan of her as well. However, facial expression from Chiesa, tiny leaks here and there, a contract that is at a standstill since, I don't know, when was it? October. It led me to believe that Chiesa is actually holding this deal back. And not really about money. The media can write that. It's more about he wants to know what his place is going to be in the team. What are we going to do? Who's going to be the coach? Even if it's Allegri, do I need to play like this again next season? Is that my position? If not, we can talk about it. If so, let's see. That's, I think, a clear or like a realistic reflection of the current situation, that he's looking at the team and he's like, I need to know my role. I need to know where I'm going to play before I make my decision, before I'm going to sign that new deal. It's not really about money. It's more about me and my development, quote unquote, or my future in this team actually on the pitch. And it's a dangerous game for the club a little bit because they kind of hold everything in hand with a decision. You cannot really say, okay, one player doesn't like the coach, now we're going to throw everything away. But that's just what it is now. I think Chiesa is just holding it back because he needs to know, or he wants to know what is actually going to be in the following season, which makes sense, for any player to need to know what is actually going to happen next season. But let me know in the comments what you think about free agents. Maybe you have other names, so let me know on that as well. Also, do you think that Chiesa is holding up the deal, and do you think he's in the right to do so? That's also the question. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Tonight, there will be a call-in show, so stay tuned, everybody. And yeah, I'll see you guys then later tonight. Ciao.